managers defrauding clients, blah, blah, blah. Putting integrity into finance is purely a positive phenomena. Money managers have allowed certain favored investors to engage in market timing operations. For example, after hours trading at stale prices that allowed these favored investors to sell or purchase shares at prices above or below the actual value of those shares. Such practices allow those favored investors to transfer wealth from non-favored fund investors to themselves. Well-known fund organizations that were accused of such behavior and fired employees as a result of the investigations and or paid penalties to settle the charges include Putnam Investments, Strong Capital, Morgan Stanley, Janus Capital Group, Bear Stearns, Bank of America, and Invesco. In some cases, the managers of the funds, for example, Strong Capital Management, engaged in such trading themselves in personal violation of their fiduciary duties to fund investors. Oh, and then didn't was it PNC that got caught up with like foreign national? I don't remember who it was. Corporate. Oh, is it PNC? I'm trying to think of which bank it was. No, it was not Deutsche Bank, not oh, I'll think of it later. Corporate governance, putting integrity into the organization. Santander? No. Organization as a system and as a human entity. Put integrity into boards of directors. Boards of directors are ultimately accountable for the performance of the organization as a whole. This accountability for performance includes the performance of one, the organization as a system, and the organization as a human entity. The logic chain to the ultimate outcome is as follows. This is kind of similar to the goose and the golden egg. What is that? How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm not sure which book that's from. Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, or something different. The organization as a system is constituted as follows: the design of the system, the implementation of the design, and the use of the system. The organization as a human entity is constituted as follows: the word of the entity itself includes those individuals who are taken to speak for the entity, and the word of the individuals who make up the entity. An organization is out of integrity when the organization as a system or as a human entity or both is less than whole, complete, unbroken, impaired, sound, in perfect condition. When an organization as a system or as a human entity is less than whole, complete, unbroken, and unimpaired, sound, and perfect condition, the workability of the organization as a system or as a human entity or both is diminished. When the workability of an organization as a system or human entity is diminished, the organization's opportunity for performance is diminished. Given the boards of directors are ultimately accountable for organizational performance, and given that out of integrity behavior of the organization as a system or as a human entity diminishes the organization's opportunity for performance. This necessarily leaves boards of directors accountable for integrity of the organization, both as a system and as a human entity. As an organization's executive compensation plan is an example of the organization as a system. The board of directors is ultimately accountable for the workability and the performance of that system. The board of directors is therefore necessarily accountable for the integrity of one, the design of the organization's executive compensation plan, two, the implementation of that design, and three, the use of the implemented plan. An example of an out of integrity design is an organization's executive compensation plan is the budget or not or target based executive compensation plan that most companies use. In addition, what gets said and what is unsaid in an organization's boardroom is an example of the organization as a human entity. Integrity for a human entity is a matter of that entity's word, nothing more and nothing less. When what is said in the organization's boardroom is less than whole, complete, unbroken, unimpaired, sound, in perfect condition, such out of integrity behavior diminishes the workability of the board. When workability is diminished, the opportunity for performance is diminished. As an example of out of integrity behavior in boards of directors for that matter, executive teams, is the existence of undiscussables in the boardroom. That is what the firm may be getting with but is so questionable. That if it is put up on the table, it probably has to cease. Anything that is undiscussable leaves the board as a human entity, less than whole, complete, unbroken, unimpaired, sound, in perfect condition. As a result, workability and value are sacrificed. No human entity in which there are issues that are undiscussable can be whole and complete. I wish I had read this years ago. If you doubt that there are undiscussables in the background of most board meetings, and indeed most executive committees, try raising the issue of one or more undiscussables. Love that word. You quickly discover that it is undiscussable, that there are undiscussables. These undiscussables are always trouble waiting to happen. There is no way to head off the trouble as long as the issues are undiscussable. Indicators of the lack of integrity in the governance and management of financial firms. We'll go over in the next one. Hope you have a phenomenal day. I'm Lee, and peace out. And wow, undiscussables word of the day.